And we start with 30 questions and 3 answers. After that, I would like to tell you about one experience of the Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. After that, I will continue last night Dhamma talk. Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw, what does a yogi need to do to see phenomena clearly? At night, for example, one cannot see things clearly. But if one uses torchlight, things can be clearly seen in the spotlight. In the same way, concentration can be conveyed to the light, through which one can see phenomena clearly. The manner of rising and falling, in the tension, tightness, in movement, etc. This is from the book named The Discourse on Sanlekha Sutta by Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. Number 2 question. Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw, how does a yogi experience Abodhātu, the water element? Actually, the water element is untouchable, but a yogi can experience it as liquidity or wetness, being connected with other elements. So, when one feels tears, phlegm, saliva, and sweat flowing down, the water element can be experienced as liquidity or wetness in any part of the body. Actually, there is no water element which cannot be observed, which normally prevails in 12 parts of the body, such as bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, and so on. This is from the book named The Discourse on Sanlekha Sutta by Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. Number 3 question. Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw, is it necessary to accept nothing but practical experience? It is not practical for you to accept only practical experience. In other words, there is no reason not to believe in non-empirical reality. Although you cannot see something with your naked eyes, it may be seen through a microscope or telescope. Although you have never been to some parts of the world, it is reasonable for you to believe in what is said of it by those who have been there. Of course, we have to accept the discoveries of astronauts although we have never been in outer space. The Dhamma is very subtle and profound. The reason one may not experience it is probably because of deficiency in spiritual perfection in effort or obstructions like Garuka Karma, Kilesa, Vipaka, Videgama, and Ariyupa Vada. Garuka Karma here is of 5 kinds: mother or one's own mother, father, or in arhat, holding a Buddha, or causing division in the community of monks. Kilesa here means the wrong view that there are no good or bad deeds, and no good or bad results. Vipaka here means one's inborn deficiency in spiritual perfection. Videgama here means in activity against the Buddha's authority, that is, breaking monastic rules. Ariyupavada here means insulting in Ariya noble ones. Most often, however, inside knowledge is not realized due to weakness in one's effort in concentration. If you don't practice seriously, you cannot expect to realize something special. This is from the book named The Discourse on Sanlekha Sutta by Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. Mahasi Sayadaw explained about his experience as follows. Let me tell you a story from my own experience as a meditation teacher. It is about the meditator from my native village, Saikon, in Shibu district. He was none other than a cousin of mine. He was one of the first 3 persons from the village to take up insight meditation. The 3 of them agreed among themselves to meditate for a week past. They worked very hard. They had brought to the hermitage cigars in bitter quits to be taken, 1 each day. But when they returned from the hermitage, they took home all the 7 cigars in bitter quits untouched. So hard did they work that in 3 days they attained the knowledge of arising and passing away, in we are overjoyed to experience tranquility and see the brilliance around. Only at this old age have we discovered the truth. They spoke with great joy, because they were the first to take up meditation. I thought of letting them go with their joys, and just told them to go on noting. I did not tell them to note the joys. So, although they worked for 4 more days, they did not get any higher. After a few days' rest, they came again for another week of meditation. That cousin of mine then reached the stage of the knowledge of dissolution, Bhanga Jnana. Although he was noting, rising, falling, sitting, he did not see the abdominal shape in his body seemed to have disappeared. So he had to touch it with his hand to see if it was still there. He told me whenever he looked or saw, everything seemed to be dissolving and breaking up. The ground he looked at was dissolving, and so were the trees. It was all against what he had thought things to be. He began to wonder. He had never thought that such external season produced gross material things like earth, trees, logs, etc. could be incessantly breaking up. He had thought they perished only after a considerable length of time. They last for a quite long time, he had thought. Now, as insight knowledge gained momentum with meditation, the rising and passing away of phenomena appeared to him of their own accord, without his specially meditating on them. They were passing away, breaking up there before him. It was all the reverse of his former beliefs. Perhaps his new vision was wrong. Perhaps his eyesight was failing. So he asked me, and I explained to him the passing away and breaking up you saw in everything were true. As your insight knowledge grew sharper and quicker, things appeared as arising and passing away to you without your meditation on them. These are all true. When insight knowledge has grown really sharp, it will prevail over wrong beliefs in thoughts. You see things in their true light as impermanent, suffering, and non-self. An uncultured mind or reflection without meditation cannot give you real insight into the nature of things. Only insight meditation can do that. Once you realize impermanence, you see how they oppress you with their arising and passing away, how you can derive no pleasure from them, how they can never be refuge, how they can perish any moment. So how they are frightening, how they are suffering, etc., ill suffering in the sense of fearful. And we continue last night Dhamma talk, the next phenomenon that you are most likely to be aware of while observing the abdomen is consciousness, whose characteristic is to be conscious of a sense object below as above. To be conscious of a sense object is its characteristic. So you will become aware of consciousness when you note thoughts that arise in you. You will find thoughts arise moment by moment, picking up one object after another constantly, like a bird picking up one grain after another. When you note seeing, for example, you can find the unconsciousness as if it were picking up the visible object. In the same way, you will find the ear consciousness picking up the sound, the nose consciousness picking up the odor, the tongue consciousness the taste, the body consciousness the tangible object, and the mind consciousness any object known to the mind. Hence, the characteristic of consciousness is to be conscious of its corresponding object, no matter whether you are highly educated or illiterate, young or old, you will be aware of its nature. If you are mindful of your thoughts concurrently, some yogis, although less educated, can report their discernment of object more comprehensively than the educated ones. Some of them are very young, like 11 or 12. The function of consciousness is to lead its concurrent Bhopangama rasa, as if it were urging, "Hey folks, come on, please follow me." In this regard, below is the verse. Leading is concurrent, like a forerunner is its function. When people work together, there is someone who leads everybody else. Likewise, the consciousness plays a leading role among all its concurrent mental factors, such as greed, hatred, etc. In an unwholesome case, or confidence, mindfulness, and so on. In wholesome case, this function of the consciousness is quite evident. The manifestation of consciousness is described as follows: Pati Sandhi Pajupatthana or Sandhana Pajupatthana. It is manifested as a mental chain. The consciousness is manifested as a chain of preceding and succeeding mental states. So, when a vipassana meditator notes one kind of consciousness, he or she would find it disappear and be succeeded immediately by another kind. Then the meditator would realize the consciousness is a mental change that keeps going on in connection with its preceding mental state. So when I note one thought moment, I find it disappears, but another thought moment replaces it immediately. Accordingly, a verse is composed as follows: the chain of preceding and succeeding thoughts is its manifestation. Well, so far I have explained how to discern the characteristic, function, and manifestation of three kinds: phenomena, air element, a physical phenomenon; feelings and consciousness, two mental phenomena, which are most likely to be obvious when you observe rising and falling of the abdomen. Actually, you should also discern all the remaining psychophysical phenomena in the same way. So, I will now touch on how a yogi starts to distinguish between mind and body, at the moment of seeing, for example, if you are mindful of the seeing, you will discern the eye in the visible form as physical phenomena, whereas the seeing or eye consciousness as mental phenomenon. Similarly, when hearing, the ear and sound are physical, while the hearing or ear consciousness is mental. When smelling, the nose and the odor are physical, and the nose consciousness is mental. When eating, the tongue and taste are physical, and the tongue consciousness is mental. When touching, the body and tangible objects are physical, and the body consciousness is mental. Thus, you will become aware of mental and physical phenomena separately. Here, the range of touching is very extensive because it can take place at any part of the body. So, the awareness of bodily behaviors like bending, stretching, moving, going, and so on is considered the awareness of touching. Therefore, when you note bending your arm, for example, tension, motion, and pressure are physical, and the body consciousness and awareness of it are mental. When going, you will become aware of tension, motion, or pressure, which are physical, and of the body consciousness and awareness of it, which are mental. When you note the rising of the abdomen, you will become aware of tension and motion as physical, and the body consciousness and awareness of it as mental. When you note the falling, looseness and contraction are physical, and the body consciousness and awareness of it are mental. In taking a step, you can be aware of 4 elements distinctively. When lifting, you may be aware of lightness that represents the fire element. When moving it forward, you may be aware of motion, tension, or pressure that signifies the air element. When you drop it down, you may be aware of heaviness that indicates to the water element. In the end, you press it on the ground to be aware of hardness that represents the earth element. In this way, every time you note any bodily behavior, you can distinguish between the non-cognitive body and the cognitive mind. Thus, you can see mind and body separately, which means the insight into mind and body, nama, rupa, paricheda, jnana. The time is up and up for today.
萨埵萨埵萨埵。